right. Hello, everyone. Welcome, and thank you for joining us for this presentation. It's my pleasure to introduce Amy Smith. She's a national speaker and education expert with Investors Business Daily, and Amy is also the author of How to Make Money in Stocks Success Stories. To our wonderful viewers, if there are any questions you'd like to ask Amy today, please type them into the live chat box, and time permitting, I will announce those questions either at the end of her presentation, or if time permits, I will stop her during if they are relating to whatever she's talking about. And with all that said, Amy, I will hand the mic on over to you. If you need anything, I'll be right here. The floor's all yours.
Oh, thank you so much. And good morning to everyone, or good afternoon, or depending on where you are across the world. I know MoneyShow has people from all over tuning in. So lovely to have everyone on board. And I'm excited to tell you a little bit more about what I do. First of all, I've been with Investors Business Daily for about 12 years. I was recruited by the founder of IBD, which is William O'Neill. You guys probably know him. He wrote the book, How to Make Money in Stocks. He's very well known throughout the whole world. And what I'm going to share with you today is what we call the Leaderboard. And the Leaderboard was founded about 10 years ago, really from requests from people around the world who said, you know what, we love you guys. We love Investors Business Daily. We just want something that's easy. When do I buy and when do I sell stocks? And how can I do that pretty easily? So thank you so much for the introduction. I appreciate it. A little bit more about me. Yes, I have written the book, How to Make Money in Stocks Success Stories. And it's a very easy read. It's not an expensive book. It's very, very simple. I use very straightforward language about people that have had success in the stock market. And as they recounted their stories to me, they also told some of their mistakes and how they overcame them, how they became better investors. And I started with beginning investors all the way up to hedge fund managers. So in the book, there's a lot of little nuggets in there. And I basically am very grateful to the people that I was able to interview because they told me their stories, and I just shared them with you in this book. And then there's my partner down there, Matt Galvani. We did an investing show for many years. It was a radio show, became a video show. And I've done lots and lots of work for IBD with the money shows. Have been great fun. Love the money show people. Love everything that they stand for to try to help other investors. I've been to a lot of their live, over the many, many years, a lot of the live money shows. And of course, with COVID, we started into, a lot more of the webinars, which has also been great. So the Leaderboard, we have a group of experts that were with William O'Neill, trained for like 20 years. And so they know a lot about our system, which is buying growth stocks. Okay, we're not going to look for value stocks. I think Warren Buffett is absolutely fabulous, but that's not the kind of investing that we do. We're looking for the next Apple, the next Google, the next, the next Facebook, these big names that come around. With COVID, we had Peloton that went up like 400%. We had Zoom. So, those platforms, who's doing something new? Those are the stocks that we're looking for. It can be a learning tool, this platform. It's very easy to use, or it could be used by people with a lot of experience. And as I say, really, somebody came to the editors of the newspaper and they said, you know what, just give us a really simple, easy to use product. And that's what the Leaderboard is. So here's our website, Investors Business Daily. It's free. Go over and take a look at it. Not everything is free if you're not a subscriber, but there's a lot of free things on there that you can use to learn. And you'll notice that up at the top here, this is where you find the Leaderboard. You just click there. There's no special downloads, no special equipment needed. It's just a platform. Once you have a password, you get into it. It's very easy. And this is what you get with a landing page. And it really could not be more simple. I'm going to walk you through it, but it's very easy. But here's the great thing. It's very easy to use, but we also have a concierge service. We have complimentary training sessions. You can call the 800 number all the time, anytime you want something. And if you don't like to make a phone call, you can email us. And the Leaderboard users, as I say, they have this special concierge service. So, that's unique to this product, and you can get your questions answered anytime. So why is Leaderboard unique? Well, in the stock market, I'm sure you all know, and there's many, many publicly traded stocks. So how do we, out of this whole big basket of stocks that are out there, how on earth do we choose, just the handful that we want? Well, we're going to put in our filters. Now, CAN SLIM, these letters, kind of funny acronym, stands for the type of investing that we do. It's quarterly earnings, annual earnings, a new product or service, supply and demand. We want a leader in the group, institutional sponsorship, like the pension funds, the banks, the hedge funds, the mutual funds. And then, of course, the most important part is the overall market. So we put all this together and we have these proprietary ratings that Bill O'Neill put in. I mean, no one, in other words, no one goes in and handpicks these CAN SLIM stocks. We have what we call the IBD 50 or the sector leaders. These are all computer generated based on strong earnings, strong sales, return on equity, things like that. So we put those filters in, and then we come with our IBD stock list, and then we filter that down even more, and we're going to find the leaderboard stocks. So we're going to put in those CAN SLIM screens. We're going to put in some custom screens of our own. The personal research, the leaderboard team consists of, about 15 people, and everybody goes in. Maybe someone's specialty is knowing about the consumer area. Maybe somebody has a specialty in technical stocks, all of the, more computer-based or technical. So people put in their personal research, years and years of experience. One of our lead guys over there, Chris Gessel's been with us 20 years. But a lot of the whole leaderboard team has been there at least 15 years training under Bill O'Neill. And then this is my favorite part, the stocks with the it factor. So what does that mean? Way back, and depending on your age, you may not remember this, but I remember we were saying, I think I will go Google it. Now, the beginning of that whole search engine, if you can just go look and Google something, amazing. Then we came after 2009, we started into a new bull market, and there was Baidu. Baidu was the Google of China. And if you can explain what a company does in a short sentence like that, you probably have a monster winner. And Baidu went up 1,000%. Of course, we know the massive run that Google has made. So what is a stock with the it factor? What is the next Facebook? TikTok came around. What are the newest things? What are we all buying? My kids gave me the beginning of the iPod where you could listen to music, and they gave me the iPod mini, and I couldn't believe how it changed my workouts. It was just listening to great music. It just transported me someplace else. And then look how many iterations we have. I thought that the BlackBerry was a really cool phone, right? I had it. It was the beginning of you could leave the office and you could go, and while you were watching your kids play sports, you could still email the office. Now, of course, that doesn't seem like that big of a deal now because of all the more modern iPhones that we have. It's companies like that that are producing something extraordinary, and that will give you a big stock gain. So here's your leaderboard landing page. What we're going to try to give you is leaders near a buy point. These are stocks that are ready to go. You're going to take a look at this, over the weekend while you're preparing for the next week, or you can look at it at the end of the day, on any given day. Leaders near a buy point, they're ready to go. So what are we going to give you here? Well, we're going to give you the stock. We're going to give you the exact price. When should you go into it? What is the current action? Now, everybody here knows Apple. It's we know what the company does, but maybe there may be some of these stocks that you don't know what they do. So we're going to give you that action. Then we're going to give you our analysis. So it's in a first stage base, after a slump. I'm just going to tell you what's going on with the stock right now. And then a little bit of a backstory on the company. But notice this is not a big, long article. These are just short little descriptions. People said, I don't want to spend the whole day reading. I don't want to read through the newspaper. I love everything that, you guys print wonderful articles. I want something really to the point. So that's what this is, really a shortened version. Then we have what we call the leaders list. So the leaders near a buy point are stocks that are ready to go. All right, those are all ready to go. The leaders list may not be quite ready to go, or they may be a little bit extended in price, but let's say we're back in the COVID area and Zoom had already made too much of a run. It was a little bit extended to get into, but we're going to keep watching it in case it sort of forms a consolidation, another base, another entry point. So we're going to keep watching these names because we think they're strong, or maybe they're just not quite setting up yet. So that's the leaders list. And then we have earnings options. So for those of you that like to play options, when we get into earnings season, and we're going to get back into that again in October, it's just around the corner here, and stocks really move during earnings seasons. It could be an upward movement or a downward movement. So we're going to play options on this. We have a couple of people on the team that are options experts. And then people came to us, and that's the great thing about, I think, about IBD and about the leaderboard is that people will come to us and say, hey, why don't you add this? Have you thought about this? And we take all those suggestions and we give them to the various teams to see if it's doable, if we can add it, what is the technical difficulty of doing it. And some people said, I know you guys have a watch list. What are you guys looking at right now? You may not be buying it on the leaderboard, but what are you watching? And so we created the watch list. So you get to see exactly what we're looking at the same time that we are. Okay, what is in a chart? Well, before we do that, we put this little panel. This little panel is going to go over here on the side. And what is this? And you don't have to look at every one of these data points if you don't want to, but they're there in case you want to confirm. What are the current earnings like? When are the earnings due? We always want to check and see when a stock's going to report earnings. Wow, the earnings percent change in the last quarter, 100%. So it's green, yellow, and red, like a traffic light. This green means this one has really strong ratings. Red is something's a little wrong. So it has not had a number of quarters of earnings acceleration, but there's never an absolute perfect stock. Most of the time you'll find a few faults. But this is just to let you know, look at the list here. We go through a lot of data points to make sure we're picking the very best stocks. This is a weekly chart. We look at weekly charts and daily charts. The first thing you notice here is you can see that they're going to give you the exact entry point. So if you're new to chart reading, or you say, gosh, I'm so busy, or I don't have time. I work, I've got kids, I've got responsibilities. The beauty of this is it gives you the exact buy point here out of this base. Then maybe if you didn't get in here, here's another entry point right here, the 238 buy point. They give you a little bit of description here. It's finding support. And here's another entry point right here. So, they can tell you also, wow, you're up 50% from your entry point. You might want to consider taking some profits. Now here we're going to switch over to a daily chart. And again, they're going to mark this up for you. See how nice it is? It's clean. It's just marked up with the proper buy points. They say, hey, you're up 20%. Maybe consider taking some profits. Stock is coming in on average volume. So when you hit new highs, but you're not getting big volume, we're going to tell you be careful about this right here. So there's weekly charts and daily charts with the exact buy points on them. And then they came to us, the public, which we love. We get suggestions all the time. Tell us what you added during the week or what you removed. So did something flash a sell signal? By the way, if anything is ever added to our list or removed, you're going to get an email. Okay, you're going to get notifications. And if you download the Leaderboard app, you get those little push notifications. So you know immediately when we add something to Leaderboard or when we take something off the list. So this is what it would look like. What's added or removed in the last 5 days. You can take a look at all the stocks on all of our lists. So here's something that I think is exciting. I volunteered my time for years and years at Santa Monica meetup, and we noticed that the top 10 in one of our lists, we call the IBD 50, always outperformed. I mean, that's where you're going to find, not now because these stocks have pulled back, but the Pelotons, the Zooms, they're always going to be in this top 10. So we highlight the top 10 for you. These are annotated with the buy points. The sector leaders, we have different groups. Maybe it's retail shoes. Maybe it's, it could be computers. It could be internet stocks. Whatever a sector leader, usually you have a small basket of those, maybe from 4 to maybe 16, if the market is really strong. Those outperform the market 3 to 1. We've back tested this, back years and years and years. And so this is a list you should take a look at because they outperform the S&P 3 to 1. And then the stock spotlight, or what is moving today, what was moving during the week. And there's 16 stocks that you can track on this. So here it is. Here's the IBD, the top 10 and the 50. So here's our IBD 50 list. It will give you all of the 50 stocks, but they're going to highlight the top 10. Then you're going to get the sector leaders. That's in this tab right here. And it's going to give you these stocks that outperform the S&P, as I said, 3 to 1 when the market is in an uptrend. So this is a really important list to pay attention to. But notice how it's all, so you just scroll your mouse over here at the top. It's really simple to use. It's a really, really easy tool. You just basically scroll over it, click on it, and you'll get these lists. Here is our stock spotlight right in here. Just go up here and click on that. So let's take a look at the leaders to see what they look like. So this was Celgene, and we put the stock on here on the leaderboard, and we took it off up here. It was 105% gain. Now, I'm not saying that someone can cherry pick the exact bottom to the exact top, but you could have gotten it here out of this cup with handle base. Maybe if you weren't on the leaderboard then, you got it out of this base right here as it goes up. And then we noticed it was flashing some sell signals right here. So we took our profits. But you notice how easy this is. This is Netflix. Put it on here and took it off up here when it flashed some sell signals right there. So again, they just provide you the buy point, and then we sent it to the cut list October the 22nd of when this picture was taken. Texas Capital Bank shares. So it may not be a name that you know, but we're looking at these names. They're showing up on IBD lists. And we're gonna do this for you. The hard work, this really heavy lifting, we're doing all the work for you. So we put the stock on here, and we took it off here for a pretty big gain. This one is one that everyone cracks up. Spirit Airlines. Every time I mention this in a presentation, someone starts cracking up because I guess if you've ever flown on Spirit Airlines, which I have not, I guess that you have to pay for everything. Like if you want water, or there's all these little add-ons, and yet the stock, we put it on right here, and it went up and up. I don't even have the chart. It just kept going up and up and up. 234% gain. And the reason these stocks go up, it's all about earnings and sales. Is a company doing something that's in big demand from the public? That's what makes all these stocks go up. And then no matter how great the stock is, many times they will correct. Now during COVID, I've mentioned these two names, but it's important to think about this. Peloton, I kept hearing my neighbors and everybody, it was crazy. People were getting on it. I think a sense of community. You got in these Peloton bike classes. People were at home during Zoom, and they could sort of feel like they had an instructor that was helping them out. It was just and people wanted to stay fit, even though we're having to stay at home. So that kind of an idea, and we're using the Zoom platform right now. Doesn't mean that these stocks are buys right now. It's just that at the time that the stock was moving higher, big earnings, big sales, big demand from the public. This is Palo Alto Networks. One of my favorite shows is Shark Tank, because you get to see these, these entrepreneurs and these great new products and these ideas. And, Palo Alto is cybersecurity. And, one of the sharks was saying that this was a great company. And I noticed this, years and years and years ago. And sure enough, Palo Alto cybersecurity, very important to protect your business. Here is your cup-shaped base. Here's a double bottom base. We put it on the list here, and we took it off the list up here. So these are stocks I wanted to show you from the beginning of the year. Where we were. Now, the market has pulled back. In fairness, they took some profits on some of these. But look at this, in NVIDIA, a 282% profit. And they'll give you the date when they went in. Some of these they held for a longer period of time. This was 2022. But you can see some of these they held that were like really monster winners. NVIDIA was one of those big winners. But some of them they were in this year and they got this 31% profit here. So the way that you look at that, there's a position summary right here, and they're very honest and open about how is Leaderboard doing right now, which I love. It's transparent, it's honest, it's very ethical. So you can see what the positions are doing just by clicking right here, and it'll open up this tab right here. Here's another one. I just wanted to show you some names you might know. This is a pharmaceutical company. This is an ETF. They'll sometimes use the ETFs if we're moving higher. This is Anthem. Here we have Tesla. And they read Tesla very nicely with a 51% gain here. So you can see some of the gains that they've had.
Yeah, Amy, we actually had someone did ask, what do you think about Tesla personally?
Tesla. Well, Tesla. So here's a couple things. I'm always looking at what we call the FANG stocks. Not all those have done well, okay, including Tesla. They've all pulled back, which was Facebook, which is Meta Platforms, Apple and Amazon, Netflix, which we know has had a rough go of it, and then Google Alphabet. But included in those, I would say Microsoft is a big name, and Tesla is. And these names, all these names, are very heavily weighted on the indexes, very heavily. So if Tesla makes a move downward, the market is going to be pulled down. Same with Apple. I think Tesla is a remarkable company. I think obviously there's tons of innovation there. They are going to have more competition in terms of the electric vehicles. I know that there's the battery, the giga batteries. There's a lot of complexity to Tesla. I'm not going to say it's a buy right now, but I certainly don't think it's down and out either. If we have time, I'll tell you what, we can go take a look at chart, and the chart will tell us kind of what's going on with it. So here's another great thing, the Leaderboard trading plan. This will come to you Friday afternoon, and you can look at it on the weekend. What's great about this is if you're truly short on time, here's 3 stocks, 1, 2, 3. By the way, this is not from this last weekend. I just wanted to show you. Restoration Hardware, here's your buy point, 177.22. Pinduoduo, buy point, 36.99, and TransDigm. That's as simple, just write these names down, not these currently, at the time, write them down. You got your buy points. And during the week, watch these stocks, and if they trigger these buy points, you're good to go. It couldn't be more easy for you. You don't need 15 stocks. You just need a couple that might work. Some of these might work, some of them might not, but there's a great list here. During the middle of the week, this is also great. It's not just a Friday update. During the middle of the week, they will tell you what's going on with the leaderboard. They'll go through it. By the way, they also do something called a leaderboard scorecard. And once a month, they'll go through and tell you all the stocks that they, what were they thinking? What are they looking at? Why did they buy something? So they do those webinars all the time too. And as I say, there's free training with the leaderboard. This is another list, a snapshot I took recently, Eli Lilly. These were smaller gains. The market became a little bit more difficult. We've had an uptick the last couple of days, which was really lovely to see. So here's, we look at what is moving right now. So this is a healthcare company. This is United Healthcare. And you see, setting up your cup with handle base. If you don't know chart reading or anything like that, Leaderboard is a great platform to help you learn more about charts, learn more about proper buy points. The work is all done for you. It's a great educational tool. And this is Dayco Energy. Energy stocks were running. We've still got the energy running. We have the solar stocks. So this is a stock, again, drew the base for you. Where was the buy point? And hit our 20% profit up here. So those are just some stocks. I'm going to switch over to something else now. I'm going to stop my share. Do we have any other, while I'm switching over here, any other questions?
Yes, we do. Angelo just asked, actually, what are your current leaderboard picks? I know that's kind of what you've been discussing.
Yes, I will. In fact, I have some right here. So these are some names that are doing real well. And I'm going to go through some of the solar stocks. So these are some of them right here, these names, LNTH. This one's a little bit extended. I mean, this one started running in February. So this has been a very long-term reader. Again, we've got the healthcare names on here. This is a pharmaceutical company. But they have been adding, we've had a couple of good days here. We had a pullback, and now the market is acting like it wants to rally again. So the good thing about the leaderboard also, this is an advantage we have as individual investors. We can get out easily, and then we can get back in easily. Now, if I'm running a $100 million hedge fund, or probably way bigger than that, you just can't turn around as quickly. You can't get in and out as easily. So leaderboard will add or take stocks off the list depending. This is a stock this really zoomed yesterday. This is Enphase Energy. Let me tell you just a little bit about stock picking. So here's your cup. Now, why did this stock go up? Because it produced big earnings. Down here's your volume spike. Okay, this is institutional buying. The stock gaps up, and there's lots of buying power. Yesterday, the stock just zoomed right here. So why Enphase Energy? Well, whether you support it or not, the Biden administration, they were supporting the solar industry, and all of these solar stocks, Solar Edge, SEDG, a bunch of other names popped. So we have to pay attention. Now, why did it pop? Why did it move? I'm not going to just buy on the news, on some government announcement, but I am going to buy because it produced triple-digit earnings, big, huge quarterly earnings. Their outlook for the annual earnings are big. So if we take a look over here, this is what I'm talking about. Current earnings, look at this. The last 3 quarters of earnings growth, look at that number. The current quarter, what are they expecting? They had a huge earnings surprise. They beat Wall Street's expectations. They have huge sales margins and return on equity. Again, earnings, sales, your price action. Look how much green we have here. This is green light, green light, green light. Now, this is not a buy right now. This one has, you see, it's shot up. It's pretty extended. Another thing on our charts here, you see this relative strength line? This compares a stock to the S&P. Well, goodness, look at this thing go. I mean, this has been way outperforming the S&P. So our charts are simplistic, but they're very clean, and they tell you what you need to know. This is your 50-day moving average right here. And this is your 10-day, and this is your 8-day. So these are just really easy to read charts. And as I say, you do get that training, that free training if you want. Here is a solar ETF. You said, what are we looking at now? This is TAN. I think that's kind of funny. It's a solar name, like TAN, like tanning bed. Anyway, this is TAN. And again, your cup with handle base here, okay? And it moves up and pull back a little bit. So we will look at the ETFs as well as individual stocks. This is cross-country healthcare. This one is zooming right as we speak right now. The ticker symbol is CCRN. Again, it forms this cup with handle base, which is drawn for you. They give you exact buy point here. They tell you from this base over here, came up and hit a 20% profit, pulled back, formed a base, and then is moving again. This was the midweek update. I wanted to show you, that was a good question for the person that gave the question, what are we looking at now? Here's some names right now. So it says these names joined Leaderboard Wednesday. We might be getting another tradable rally. We had Apple off the bottom. Some of those names that came up, they made great gains. We had this tradable rally. So we have to always look for these. We're looking for, another confirmed uptrend. This is an ETF. This is the S&P 500 SSO. This is the solar ETF. And this was DV. All of them were started as half positions to see how they work. It'll give you the exact entry point. See that? And the TAN came up above the 10-week moving average, so we added it back to the leaderboard. So if anybody has any questions, you can contact me anytime after we finish today. It's amy.smith, very easy, @investors.com. And if you'd like to give Leaderboard a try, the platform is great. Works on your tablet, works on your laptop. We have, of course, the Leaderboard app on your phone, very easy to use, easy to just scroll through and see what's on there. Right now, 3 weeks for $9.95. So it's very inexpensive to try. I think, honestly, for less than $10 or just about $10, you should try it because you can get that free training. You'll learn more about chart reading. You will gain insights. You can ask the trainer that you get. You can ask them questions. If you need another training, you said, you know what, I've been through it once, I want to go through it again. You can do it. And with Zoom, it couldn't be easier. And you can schedule this for a time that works for you, depending on if you work. We have people in the office early, and we have people in the office late, and we know we've got people from the East Coast. I just did a webinar. We had people from all over the world tuning in, Australia. So we have people on the phones at all different times of the day. So give this one a try. It really will help you with your investing decisions. And it's meant to be a learning tool too. So with that, do we have any more questions?
Now, we did have quite a couple more questions,
Okay.
but let's just see if we can get one more in. Linda's asked if your data includes dividend information.
Oh, that's a very good question. On the leaderboard, on our newspaper, which of course now is a digital product, it's not just a newspaper, we have a section called the Income Investor. It's specifically for dividends. It's in there each and every week, and it's on our website every single day. Now, with that, if someone wants that information, that's a digital subscription, which I can also get for very, very inexpensive.
Right. Thank you so much, Amy, and thank you to everyone in the audience for asking all of those questions. I did post the link to that leaderboard, get.investors.com/leaderboard into the chat so that everyone can go ahead and check it out. And of course, as Amy says, if you have any further questions, her email is up there on that slide, amy.smith@investors.com. So with all of that said, wonderful people, that does conclude our time for this session, but be sure to stay tuned as we do have more in store for you today. I hope everyone has a great rest of your day.